Okay, so it's Lorraine back again to show you the background paper that I used in my last video, which was sharing creativity, let's collage together, and it was done in a book. And it can also be cut up and used in an actual collage. I am going to use that hot pink and the green. Now, you're going to need a little water. We don't want to make it bright. I'm going to try to tone it down a little bit because it is going to be a background. That's the way my thinking is going. And you're going to need a brayer. They come in different widths, so depending on the width that you use, you'll get a different effect completely. All right, so I'm going to use this narrow one. And I am going to put a little white in the corner here to maybe use as I go along. Take your brayer, get it into your paint, roll it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, each time you do any exercise, it depends on how heavy your hand is, how light your hand is, how much water you use. And we're going to start a little white and a little water. And you're going to run this brayer in different directions. It's almost like you're creating squares. I'm going to spray it again, and I am going to go into my green. I like to think of myself as an experimental artist because I like to try different things that I'm not really all the time comfortable with, but very often I learn so much and then I see some really beautiful, beautiful things happen. Now I'm looking at this and I'm envisioning if I put collage on top of it. I don't want it to be too competitive with any collage I might use. So as far as the background, I'm kind of inclined to go a little softer, as I said before. Now, what I'm thinking of doing, we'll see how long this takes. I was thinking of making this a two-part video because I am going to add some stamping on top of this as well. So it's going to take a little longer. One part with the paper, and then the next part using the paper with other papers to create a collage. Need a little more green, I think. All right, so we're getting there. Now that's really deep. But you never know how that's going to play itself out in the background. We don't know. Now, I'll tell you what my thinking on this is. Because that came out deep, and I don't have it deep in other areas, I feel like I want to put a little bit more deep on the edges here too, just to give maybe a little more balance to the paper, so that if I was going to use it on a background, the deeper color would show up in different areas. All right, so I think that's about it. I'm going to say goodbye for the time being. Let it dry, and then I'm going to come back and work on top of it. I'm going to see what's going to happen. Okay, see you in a bit. Bye. Okay, so I'm back, and the paper is dry, and we are going to add another layer to this paper. And I will be using a deeper green. Now this should be fun. Now, I'm going to take this. It's a thick piece of kids' foam. You get a much better image when you use that underneath. It gives it, it's not so hard to press on. So let's see what happens. Ooh, I like that. You see that? And we're going to keep going with it. And I like the fact that it is not all the same color. And I like the white in it, actually. Now, isn't that beautiful? I really like that a lot. See? And I can show you actually how you could actually layer pieces of collage on top of this, even if it's kind of complex in the background. Just depends on what you pick, the type of papers that you pick. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. That's really nice. Now, I'm turning the paper because I can turn this stamp upside down. There's nothing to say I have to keep it going in the same direction. You could. Okay, now that my thought here too is that I always have to tell myself this, and I don't always follow my own advice. Can't be afraid to plunge in and just try it, because first of all, this is acrylic paint. And if I didn't like this, I could cover it up. Or I could just tear it up. Quite pretty. Beautiful, as a matter of fact. I love the color scheme. It's a little different from what I usually use. I usually use a lot of subtle, well, the black and whites, I favor that. And then I love the golds and the bronzes. And there we go. We're almost finished. Okay, this looks like it's the last one. Really beautiful. I can actually add a little bit in here if I wanted to. Yeah. Now, just to say this last thing, just to show you. Let's say, for instance, I wanted to layer collage on top of this. Looks rather busy, right? Looks busy. But I have a few pieces of paper here just to give you an idea of what we might be able to do with some of this. This is wax paper, you know, some of the wax papers that I did a little while ago. This would be stunning in here. So we'll talk in the next video. This is going to be the part 1. So I hope you enjoyed the process and that you will even try to create your own background and then join me for the next video. Let's collage together, collaging on your background, part 2. And I look forward to seeing you again. Bye now.